Merton argued that the notion of social structure is polyphyletic and polymorphous. That means there are various ideas and meanings that are incorporated in the social structure. Today we'll discuss what is social structure exactly and its relevance in sociology. We are going to consider the views of Spencer and Radcliffe-Brown. So let us begin. First of all, what is structure? Structure is this word is derived from structura, that is the Latin form, which says that sense of construction is what is structure. That means how is something getting built or put together. First example is the human body. How is the human body made? We have all read that in science. Cells, tissues, organs, and then it creates a whole organism. Second example is a system, pattern, or institution, like the caste structure. How is it made? How is an institution made? How is a pattern created? So this, you see how something is getting created, something is getting put together, or something is getting built. So it is a way of function or procedure which is visible. For example, multiple stories which, if looked at together, they form a very big apartment. Another feature of this thing is that the integrated whole can also be divided. For example, if you fall sick and if you have a tummy ache, the doctor is not going to analyze your whole body. He's only going to diagnose that something is wrong with your tummy and he is going to check your tummy. That means the integrated whole, it can be divided and it can be analyzed. Now coming to the characteristics. What are the characteristics of this kind of structure? It is interconnected. Again, take the example of your body. All the organs are interconnected. There is togetherness, wholeness, and there's a sense of boundary mechanism and maintenance. Any structure needs maintenance from time to time. And there has to be a mechanism also according to which it works. Now, Spencer in 1873 was the first to use the term social structure. He explained social structure with two analogies. The first analogy is the analogy of a house. Now just imagine your own house where there are different rooms, different furnitures, and different kinds of decoration according to the room. There are designated spaces also, like if you want to sleep, you will go to your bedroom. If you want to study, you will go to your study room. And they are all connected. How are they connected? There could be a corridor, there could be balconies, and they are also connected to the outside world through doors, windows, gates. Therefore, there is an interconnectedness. When the doors are closed, when if you are closing all your doors and windows, especially in times today, when we have the fear of COVID, we especially try to remain indoors and we keep everything closed. So, this room that you're sitting in, if you close all the doors and windows, you lose the connectivity from the outside world and your room becomes an individual entity. But even when you cannot see, you are still a part of the larger whole, and your room where you are living, your house, all of this is a part of the larger whole. That means your room is a part of the house, your house is the part of your colony, and so on and so forth. The second analogy was that with an organism. He said that society is like an organism. We see that all our body parts are connected with each other. The entity which is emerged by this connectivity of organs, that is the organism, is an integrated whole. But even then, every organ has an autonomous entity too. Your liver has some function to do, your kidneys have some function to do, so they have their autonomous mechanism and entity too. For analysis, it can be broken down to individual units or parts. For example, we just discussed how if you have a problem or pain in one part of your body, so for analysis, it can be broken down. Your kidneys, if they are going to check, the cells and tissues in your kidneys will also be checked. Therefore, it can be broken down. Now, this is true in the cases of villages and towns also. A village is an autonomous entity, and at one level it is isolated. It has its own traditions, culture, values, even laws. But they are still connected to the larger society, that is, to big cities. They are still connected. So, when we look at the broader perspective, they are connected to the larger whole, but at one level, they are also autonomous and have an entity of their own. Now, this was Spencer's views. Coming to Radcliffe-Brown's views, he says that socialized individual is the basic unit of society. What is the socialized individual? We know what is socialization, how we get socialized. So, once a person who was just an individual, a baby is born and he gets socialized. He understands the norms, values, cultures, and everything that is there in his society, and he becomes a socialized individual. The time when Radcliffe Brown talked about this was the time of positivism. What is this positivism? Positivism talks about the age of science, rationality, reasoning. Okay? So this age of science, it dictated everything because it was really a radical time at that period of time. Everything was to be checked on the basis of science, whether it is being verified or not, whether there is evidence or not, whether there is reliability or not. So he said that these socialized individuals, when they come together, many socialized individuals come together to form groups. These groups come together to create community, and community, as a result, various communities, when they come together, they form a society. He said that social sciences can be read and understood as natural sciences. Now, again, there is a hint of positivism here. How? Empirical methods can be used. It is subject to observation. It can be investigated systematically, and there are general laws of society. So, this debate whether sociology is a science or not, it is a never ending debate, and we have come to the conclusion that it is like science only, because there are many things which can be done on the basis of positivism. So he said that social structures are like organisms but with distinctions. He said that he made the same analogy that Spencer made, but he said that there is some distinction. Okay? So what are these distinctions? The distinction is only in the way that the individual or the person who was just a person, just an organism, and how he becomes a socialized member of the society. When we talk about an individual, we are only talking about an individual in the biological sense. For example, he's a boy, she's a girl. But a socialized individual is a product of complex of social relations. He is not something just out of the biological sense, but now he has been socialized and he has a lot of complex social relations because of which he is what he is today. Okay, so let us discuss some questions. There are two statements given. Statement 1, a single cell can form a whole organism like amoeba. This is true. Statement 2, in the same way, a single individual can form a whole society. No, this is wrong. That means option 1 is correct, that statement 2 is false and statement 1 is true. Statement 2 is false because a single individual cannot form a whole society. Why? Because it takes many people to create a society. An individual cannot do anything on its own. A sum of individuals can create groups, and groups can further turn into a society Question number 2, according to Radcliffe-Brown, social personality is the place of person in social structure, web of social relations, or the socialized person. Social personality is the place of a person in the social structure. That is what his social personality is. We know that this socialized individual has become what he is because of the complex or the web of social relations. Okay, so now he is a socialized person, but social personality, it tells what is your place in the social structure according to Radcliffe-Brown. So I hope you got this lecture. Thank you for watching.